In this video, I'm going to walk through 8 of the common Shopify SEO questions I get and answers for those questions. Question number 1, how can SEO help my Shopify store? And if you're unfamiliar with SEO or what it is, the benefits of SEO is the ability for your website to show up higher in search engines like Google when a potential customer is searching for a product or a product category you have. Now, additionally, you do have the ability to build a wider traffic net to acquire additional customers. What I mean by that is if you have additional content on your site, answering questions that your customers may have, or talking about the benefits of your products, you can not only find people who are looking specifically for your products, but looking for a potential competitor product or looking to solve an issue that your product can help with. That's the real true value of SEO over a long period of time, is building that additional traffic to allow you to find customers who may not already know about you or your products. Number 2, what are some best practices to optimize product pages? And the best practices to optimize product pages are very similar with how to also optimize blog posts and collections on your site. So you always want to make sure to use keyword-rich titles and descriptions, high-quality images with alt text, customer reviews and social proof, and then use structured data markup. And there are some apps within Shopify that can help with some of these elements, but there are also built-in elements that allow you to add in these elements from an SEO perspective too. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the built-in features with Shopify in a couple minutes. Number 3, how important are backlinks and how do you build them? There are a number of ways to build or generate backlinks. And one of the best ways to do this, if you're looking to build links over time from a natural perspective, is creating link-worthy content. And what I mean there is you want to create comprehensive guides or infographics or original research and information that nobody else has in your market, which makes it more likely for other websites to want to link to your site, which then drives the overall authority of your site and makes it easier for you to rank for the keywords and phrases you want to rank for. Collaborate with influencers. This depends on your industry and the strategy you have from a marketing perspective. Guest blogging or guest posting and or link insertion type opportunities where you can reach out to existing websites that are relevant to your site and to your market and work to get content or links from them. And then industry publications, directories, and also partners as well. And what I mean there is publications and directories, probably self-explanatory. But if you have manufacturing partners or supply partners, you can leverage those relationships and get links from them because they would also like for you to sell more of their products. Number 4, what role does site speed play and how do you improve it? I did a full video on site speed with Shopify specifically, and the 3 most common ways to improve site speed on Shopify would be making sure you have optimized images, your hosting and CDN or content delivery network is set up if you need one, and then minimize the usage of apps because sometimes they can have additional code that you don't need on your site that can slow things down. Now, there are some apps that can make a number of these processes easier. And one example of that is a JSON LD app that can help with setting up structured data. But in general, you don't need an app to handle every single element on your Shopify store. Number 5, how important is mobile optimization? And I mentioned mobile here in quotes because now most websites are going to be set up with what's called a responsive design or a responsive theme. That means your website is the same website, but it just displays differently on a desktop or a laptop compared to a phone or a tablet. So you want to make sure that your theme you're using has a fully responsive design. Also, mobile-friendly navigation. And this is important because if a user cannot access your site from a phone, this can impact your rankings from a mobile perspective because Google actually has 2 sets of search rankings for desktop and for mobile. Optimize content for mobile as well. Very similar to navigation. You just want to make sure that your content is readable and accessible for a mobile device. And then mobile page speed, if it is different than your desktop due to how elements display or are shown on a phone compared to a desktop or a laptop, you want to make sure this is set up and structured correctly as well. Number 6, what are built-in features on Shopify for SEO? And this is where I'll show you in our dev environment here in a second. You want to make sure to customize your title tags, your descriptions, URLs, and then make usage of and make sure you have your automatic sitemaps that are added to Search Console so Google can find all the pages on your site and make sure they get indexed as well. Now, to go through the customization and what you should do every time you have a new collection, a new product, or a new blog post on your site, this is what I mean. So this is our development environment. So if I go into products collections, and let's just say we want to update this collection here. So you want to use a title that makes sense. And this will most often turn into the H1 on your website. And I've talked about some of the on-page factors from a rankings perspective. And H1 is generally going to be the most important keyword or phrase on the page, and very likely going to be the title or the name of a collection as well. So you want to make usage of this correctly. Secondly, the description, which will be additional content that you can use to put information in here, additional keywords and phrases, relevant keywords and phrases, and make it so that it's readable for a human. But also you can use this spot to add links to other collections, other products, or other blog posts or articles on your site to make it easy for prospective customers to get additional information and make it easier for search engines to find that information too. And then here is where you have the ability to customize some of the SEO elements. And if you scroll to the bottom of the page, the search engine listing section is where you have the ability to edit and customize how this page will display from a search perspective. So if you click on edit, you have the ability to customize the title, customize or add a description, and then customize the handle or the URL structure as well. So these are all elements you want to make sure are set up and optimized correctly. Now, as an example, we can also do this exact same process on a product page. So same thing here. You want to make sure the title is optimized correctly, the description here, any of the images, you want to make sure they have alt text that's correct, and also the name of the image. And then same thing here. If you scroll down to the bottom of product, you can click on edit in the search engine listing, and you want to make sure this is filled out and optimized correctly. Just having the product title here leaves a lot of additional room here at the end to add in additional information that you can use to optimize this page, whether it be a product page or a collection or an article or blog post, to get additional keywords and phrases in here to make it easier for Google to understand what this page is about and make it easier for you to rank for those keywords and phrases too. And then same thing here with the description and the product URL. Lastly, on the left side, if you go over to online store, blog posts, or pages is where you would update pages if you had them set up that way. But if you do a blog post, the exact same process here. So you want to have the title optimized correctly, the content, of course, using internal links, image correctly. You can add an excerpt as well if your site is set up to show those on the blog section. And then search engine listing preview, again, edit the website SEO for this individual post. So again, title, description, URL. Now that you've been optimizing your site, how do you track success? And there are a number of different ways to look at and find data points from an SEO perspective. A couple that you would very likely use would be Google Analytics, Search Console, and then obviously within Shopify, there are certain ways to track and look at traffic as well. And you want to look at specifically organic traffic, bounce rate, conversion rate. And there are some other data points you can look at. And you want to look at keyword rankings for the keywords and phrases you're working to rank for. Over time, you should be seeing increases in the overall structure of your keyword list. Additionally, and this likely goes without saying, you want to track increased sales or revenue from organic traffic specifically. And the interesting thing about SEO and growing your website from an SEO perspective is a lot of times this can help other efforts as well. If you rank better organically, a lot of times you'll notice an increase in the results from your paid ads and vice versa. So SEO has additional benefits aside from just noticing benefits from organic traffic. And then lastly, number 8, what are common SEO mistakes with Shopify sites? And I see these very often. Duplicate content, and this is most often set up by not having canonical set correctly or having archive pages set up and not set to no index. So this is something you want to make sure is absolutely taken care of because this can impact your rankings. Neglecting meta tags that I just walked through with you how to fill those all out. There are so many sites that do not have that set up correctly. Ignoring technical SEO. So those would be things like alt text on images, making sure the links are functioning correctly on your site, making sure you have your sitemap submitted so there are no crawl errors on your website, and then also making sure to use internal links on your site as well, which goes hand in hand with on-page SEO. And then overlooking analytics. There's a number of sites that don't look at or manage either rankings, they're not even tracking any specific keywords, and they're not working to improve over time. So these are the 8 most common questions I see from an SEO perspective, especially related to Shopify. Hopefully you got some value from this. And if you did, please subscribe to my channel. I post content like this regularly related to Shopify SEO, e-commerce SEO, and SEO in general. And that's it. I'll see you in the next one.